Good morning and assalamu alaikum to all of you. So please write on your name and section in the chat box so we could
Good
start the
morning,
work.
ma'am.
Yes, Huria.
Ma'am, what are we doing? The copy work or book work?
No, we'll do the book work today, the listening parts, and we'll do the revision of measure words today, okay? Okay, students. So I'm going to share the screen with you now. So I'm sure you all have done with your tenants. Okay, students. Okay, I welcome you all once again in an online class. First of all, okay, as you all know, today we are going to do the listening part of Unit 15 and Unit 16 because these both listening parts are included in your papers. So we're going to do the listening part today, okay? So, yes, Sukana, do you have any question?
Yes, ma'am, I want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Ma'am, last night I also text you.
Yeah, I read your text because I didn't answer you at that time because I was thinking to answer you online, like when we'll be having our Zoom class. So the point is that is Unit 18 topic, I guess, right? Unit 18 or Unit 17, I guess. So these two units are not included, as you know, right? But still, if you have a question regarding that, I think 160 of your workbook.
Yeah, 160.
Yeah. So if we
Unit,
okay, that's fine. If we get time, then I'll definitely explain you this thing, right? So I'll explain you this topic as well. So right now I'm going through the revision of the topics which we've already done. So when we'll come on that part, then I'll explain you as well. But that part is actually not included in your final exams. So Unit 15 and Unit 16, only these two units are included, okay? But still, if you have questions, then I will tell you and I'll explain you in the last when we're done with the revision of the rest of the topics, okay? So students,
okay, ma'am.
right now we're going to do the listening part. So first of all, you have to come to the listening part that is on page 154 of your student book. Come to page 154 of your student book. One 54 of your student book. Okay, students. Now I'm going to share the screen with you once again. Okay, this is the listening part. Okay, so I'm going to play this listening part. It's on page number 154 of your student book. So write on today's day, date, and classwork at the top of your page first. That is 24th of March 2021 classwork, and the day is Wednesday. Okay. Yes, Nurulan, is there any problem?
Ma'am, what is the page number?
How many times I will tell the page number, beta? It's 154 of your student book. Write down classwork day and date at the top of the page. And it's a listening part, right? So I'm going to play the listening part now. So please, all of you listen to the listening part and do it as it is to be done on over here, right? So I'm going to play it now.
Listening. A. Listen for sequence words such as first, second, third, and finally.
So all of you can listen now. Just show me with your thumbs up that you can listen to the conversation. Okay, that's great. So I'm going to do the full screen now.
Number the steps in the order in which they happen. 1.
Did you know that bees help to give us the food we eat every day? This is because bees pollinate many of our plants. When a plant is pollinated, it can grow seeds and fruit. How does a bee pollinate a plant? There are 3 steps in this process. First, the bee looks for a flower to get nectar for food. The bright colors and nice smells of the flower attract the bee. The bee lands on the flower and starts to gather the nectar. Next, as the bee gathers the nectar, pollen from the flower sticks to the bee's legs and stomach. Some bees also gather pollen for food, which they pack onto their bodies. Finally, the bee flies to another flower, often in the same area. As it lands, some of the pollen from the first flower drops onto the second flower. In this way, the bee pollinates the flower, and seeds and fruit can begin to grow.
So do you understand this? How the steps are being given to you, like how the bee pollinates the flower. Sorry. Sorry. How the bee pollinates the flower. This is how the steps are given. So the first step is the bee lands on the first flower and starts to gather nectar. Then pollen from the first flower stick to the bee's legs and stomach. And the third one is the bee lands on the second flower, dropping pollen from the first flower, and that's how pollination starts. Okay. So the next listening part.
There are other insects that pollinate flowers, but the bee is the most important one. The next time you see a bee buzzing around a flower, remember that it's doing a very important job.
B. Listen again. Circle the correct answer. 1.
Did you know that bees help to give us the food we eat every day? This is because bees pollinate many of our plants. When a plant is pollinated, it can grow seeds and fruit. How does a bee pollinate a plant? There are 3 steps in this process. First, the bee looks for a flower to get nectar for food. The bright colors and nice smells of the flower attract the bee. The bee lands on the flower and starts to gather the nectar. Next, as the bee gathers the nectar, pollen from the flower sticks to the bee's legs and stomach. Some bees also gather pollen for food, which they pack onto their bodies. Finally, the bee flies to another flower, often in the same area. As it lands, some of the pollen from the first flower drops onto the second flower. In this way, the bee pollinates the flower, and seeds and fruit can begin to grow. There are other insects that pollinate flowers, but the bee is the most important one. The next time you see a bee buzzing around a flower, remember that it's doing a very important job.
Okay, students. Actually, my throat is very badly infected today. And listen again and circle the correct answer, okay? So what attracts the bee to the flower? The bright colors. What sticks to the bee's body? Pollens. And what can begin to grow after pollination? Of course, seeds begin to grow after pollination. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, so this was the listening part of unit number 15. Now you have to take out the listening part of unit number 16. Take out the listening part of unit number 16 now. That is on page number 162 of your student book. Page number 162 of your student book. Write down classwork day and date at the top of the page. That is 24th of March 2021. Classwork and day is Wednesday. Hurry up, girls. Write down classwork day and date, all of you. Okay, students, I'm going to play this one now. Just wait a minute. Now I'm going to play the second one for you girls.
A. Listen. Match each name with a picture.
Class, we've been talking about why plants are important. Who can give me one reason why we need plants? Yes, Santiago?
The cotton plant gives us cotton to make clothes. Cotton clothes feel really good. Linen is another material that comes from the flax plant.
That's a good reason, Santiago. Plants give us materials to make clothing. Yes, Mariah?
Well, Miss Carter, trees give us wood to make things like chairs, tables, and houses. Bamboo is also a plant we use to make those things.
You're right, Mariah. Plants like trees and bamboo give us materials to make things. Yes, Louisa?
Many of the medicines that we use come from plants. Those medicines make our lives healthier and happier.
Thank you, Louisa. Many medicines come from plants. Yes, Abdul?
Well, Mariah said that trees give us wood for building things. But trees also give us something that students use every day. Paper.
That's right, Abdul. We certainly need paper in school. Thanks, everyone.
So girls, I'm sure you all have matched this. So these are different, the names, Maria, Santiago, Abdul, and Luisa, and they all are explaining the things, right? The way they explain, the way they're pointing out, you just need to match them accordingly, right? Now let's do the second part, that is the B one.
B. Listen again. Circle the correct answer.
Class, we've been talking about why plants are important. Who can give me one reason why we need plants? Yes, Santiago?
The cotton plant gives us cotton to make clothes. Cotton clothes feel really good. Linen is another material that comes from the flax plant.
That's a good reason, Santiago. Plants give us materials to make clothing. Yes, Mariah?
Well, Miss Carter, trees give us wood to make things like chairs, tables, and houses. Bamboo is also a plant we use to make those things.
You're right, Mariah. Plants like trees and bamboo give us materials to make things. Yes, Louisa?
Many of the medicines that we use come from plants. Those medicines make our lives healthier and happier.
Thank you, Louisa. Many medicines come from plants. Yes, Abdul?
Well, Mariah said that trees give us wood for building things. But trees also give us something that students use every day. Paper.
That's right, Abdul. We certainly need paper in school. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, girls, I'm sure you all have done this part, okay? So a listening part of both units have done now, and I'm sure you all have done. And now I'm going to share the screen with you once again, so we could do the revision of measure words now. Okay, so we're going to do the revision of the measure words now. Okay, so girls, all of you, open up page number 153 of your student book, so I could explain you this topic once again. Okay, students, as you all know, we use different measure words. Sometimes we use measure words to count non-count nouns, and sometimes we use measure words to count the countable nouns. Okay, so as you know, all know, and I've told you earlier as well about non-count and count nouns as well. Non-count nouns are the ones which cannot be split into plurals, but count nouns are the ones which can be used as singular and plurals both. Okay, as you can see the examples below, non-count nouns like bread and jam. Can you make the plural of these ones? Can you say breads or jams? No. So these can only be used as a singular. We can't make them plural, okay? And count nouns are the ones which can be used as singular and plural both. So we use these measure words for these count nouns and non-count nouns, okay? So we use different types of measure words for different things. Like there are so many things, and we use different type of measure words for those things. As you can see, for example, when we talk about soil, so we always say a bag of soil, a pack of soil. We cannot say a bottle of soil, or we cannot say a kilogram of soil. So we use these measure words accordingly, the count noun and accordingly the non-count noun. Okay, so when we use the word jam, what measure word would you use for the jam? What measure word would you use for the jam? Yes, Isa? Yes, Isa?
I want to say that I joined late, so I didn't get the first listening part of Unit 15.
So you can watch the recorded session then, right? Because I cannot repeat it in the Zoom sessions again, okay? You can watch the recorded session then. Okay, yes, who will, yes, Huria. Huria, if I say jam, so like which measure word would you use for the jam?
A jar of jam.
A jar of jam, a bottle of jam, a can of jam. Dayan, why are you in the girls' class? You have to wait for your class, beta. Okay, your class didn't start yet. Okay, and for example, when I say the word bread, so which measure word would you use for the bread? A loaf of bread, a pack of bread. Okay, so you cannot say a bottle of bread, right? So they,
Ma'am, I wanted to ask something.
yes, you can ask.
The page number we did
The last page number we did, what was the last answer of that? I didn't just remember.
Better you have to attend this recorded session now, okay? Because I cannot repeat the back stuff again and again, okay? You have to attend the
Ma'am.
recorded one and see that. Okay, students? So if I talk about the count nouns like apples and pencils, as you see, why these are called count nouns? These are called count nouns because they can be used as singular and plural both. We can say apple and we can say apples as well. We can say pencil and we can say pencils as well. Okay, so count nouns are the ones which can be used as a singular and plural both. Okay, so when I say apples, a kilogram of apples, a bag of apples, this is how the measure word would be used for apples. If I say pencils, so which measure word would you use for pencils? Anybody? Yes, Norulan? Wait, where is Nurulan gone? Yes. Yes, Nurulan?
A box of pencils.
Yes, a box of pencils, a pack of pencils. Yes, Huria?
Yes, ma'am?
Do you wanna say something?
No.
Okay. So so these are the different measure words which we use to measure different things. Sometimes we use the measure words for the non-count nouns. I'm really sorry, I've severe throat infection today. And sometimes we use measure words for count nouns. Okay, so let's see the next slide. As you can see the slide here, all of you can see the slide here. Okay, so these are the examples of different measure words. Okay, so the first example which is given to you is about a bowl of, three examples are given to you: a bowl of cereal, a bowl of rice, a bowl of soup. So these are the measure word. A bowl of measure word is used for cereal, rice, and soup. Okay. When we talk about a bottle of water, a bottle of soda, a bottle of wine. So these are the different measure words which are these are the different the things, and the measure word which is used for these ones is a bottle of. Okay, a bag of sugar, a bag of flour, a bag of rice. So measure word which is used here is a bag of. A grain of rice, a grain of sand, a grain of truth, right? A slice of bread, a slice of meat, and a slice of cheese. So you see slice of these ones. Slice measure word is used here for bread, for meat, and for cheese. A roll of tape, a roll of sushi, a roll of toilet paper. So these are the different things, and the measure word which is used for this one is a roll of. So these are the different measure words which are used here, like a bowl of, a bottle of, a bag of, a grain of, and a roll of. Well, these measure words topic was too easy when we were doing it in our Zoom sessions for the first time. At that time, I didn't see any problem. Like when you were doing this one, I didn't see any problem. I didn't, and I'm sure you didn't have any problem when we were doing at that time as well, because they are so easy, right? So just wait a minute, girls. If you have any questions, you can just keep in mind and then I'll ask you. Any question if you have, you can ask me. Just wait a minute. Okay. So, yes, is there anybody who has any question? Yes. Yes, Sukena?
I want to say that Unit 17 is included because I saw the syllabus and workbook page number 160 is also included.
Oh, yes, it is included. Yes, you're right. Yes, it is included. Yes, I will explain you. Don't you worry about it because that's what I was actually thinking that I've just gave you 2 units. So that's fine. Yes, I will explain you when we'll come on that part. Okay. I'll definitely explain you. Don't you worry about it. Okay. So is there anybody else who has any question regarding measure words? So these are the measure words which we use for different things, right? So there are so many other measure words as well. Like if you look at your workbook, there are so many measure words over there which are used for different things. Yes, Nazish?
Ma'am, my question is not related to the topic, but I have a question that when I came to school before these, holidays, you were checking the workbook and the student book pages, and I didn't have my books. So how I'm gonna check them? Because now when the school will be open, we're gonna see it after the papers. So I don't know if I have any missing page.
So you just need to follow up the syllabus first of all, right? Whatever the pages are mentioned in the syllabus, you have to follow those pages that either they are done or not. If they are not done, any page is missed out, then you have to do that page. But if all the pages are done, when I'll be doing the revision of those topics, then you have to and just open up the workbook pages which are not checked. So you have to just follow up the work accordingly and see that either you have done it correctly or not. Because if you have any ambiguity or any issue, like for example, I'm not sure this thing I have done it correctly or not, then you can ask me in the Zoom session, ma'am, this is what I wrote in my workbook. Is it correct or not? Then I will tell you. Otherwise, you uh, like, you know, you hardly do any mistakes, like your work is almost perfectly correctly. So
I was just saying that will our schools be open before the papers?
I'm not sure, but I'm actually this will be decided today, and the government has to decide, as you know. So government is going to decide today either schools are going to reopen or not. Okay, so this is what government has to decide. So the thing would be decided today, inshallah. If school reopens, then school will reopen inshallah on 28th March. But if it doesn't, so then I'm not sure when it's gonna reopen. Okay. So students, these were the measure words which I explained you today, and this was a very small topic. And as you know, we use these measure words for countable and non-countable nouns, and we use different measure words for different commodities, different things, like stationery stuff for the commodities, for the grocery stuff. So we use different measure words for different things. And tomorrow, inshallah, I'll explain you the topic adjectives with prepositions and in detail, right? So inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. I think time is about to be over. Yes, time is over, 1 minute over. So I'll see you inshallah in the next class tomorrow. And till then, take good care of yourself. See you then. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz, ma'am.